Cody Benjamin's list. We start with the guys. Now, I don't get the sense that this is like the guys. This is like Jags, right? Just another guy.
Maybe. So this is like the majority of head coaches. This is like that class of quarterbacks that's like you're pretty happy with them. You might be looking for an upgrade, but you also think you could win with them. Like this is
the Kirk Cousins of quarterbacks.
It's the middle tier. It's the guys who are maybe proven, maybe respected, but they have yet to either win a title or prove that they can do that yet. So these were probably the toughest to rank because you've got like that elite crop. You've got the guys who are total unknowns, and then these are the guys where you're just not totally sure in some areas.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you that Cliff Kingsbury at 14 is kind of crazy.
Too high?
Although then I'm not looking at the guys below him, I'm like, maybe it's not that.
That's crazy. What I mean. This is a tough, these guys are all like, if you put them on each other's teams, are the results drastically different? But Cliff Kingsbury, I was going to, coming into this, say, I have no idea what to do with Cliff Kingsbury.
Kev So Fun in the chat is saying Mike Tomlin should be on here. Good news. It's actually a list of every head coach. And we haven't mentioned Mike Tomlin yet, which means that he is definitely in the top, I believe, 11. So this is 20 through 12. There's no chance in warm Hades, that Cody was going to put Mike Tomlin outside of the top 11. The vitriol and the blowback from Steelers fans would be robust.
I've gotten some... We were doing ranking rosters ahead of training camp. That'll get you some feedback.
People are, I don't know. I think it's like, I forgot. I don't know. Like, what did I tweet? The Browns thing. Browns fans yelling at me. And then I tweeted like everyone complained the Bears didn't upgrade enough for Justin Fields. So they got in to kill Harry! Exclamation point. Everyone's like, it's like, what? What are you mad at?
I think the lesson is like, just stay off social media. Yeah, just stay away.
I'm like, I'm not even like saying anything bad about
just
the Bears.
Go have lunch with somebody or something.
I know, just go, right? Like go. Right. Anyway, no, I mean, it's like, it wasn't even a good tweet. Like, don't yell at me about Inkill. What are you caping up for Inkill Harry, man? Come on. So Todd Bowles at 20, Ron Rivera at 19, Mike McCarthy at 18, and Mike McCarthy and Ron Rivera should be right there with each other. Although Mike McCarthy's won a Super Bowl, I suppose. Brandon Staley, 17, Nick Sirianni, 16. I think those two are interesting because I think there's a really good chance that those guys could, and again, like somebody has to replace them, but they have to replace somebody. I feel like those guys could take a step forward and at least be, if not top 10, top 12 after this year. Sirianni, I thought did a really good job adjusting. RJ White's pointed this out. It's like, if you're an Eagles fan, you should be happy that he figured out to all right, this pass happy stuff we're trying to run with Hurts isn't working. Like, let's pound the football. That's how they got to the playoffs. And, they added AJ Brown and now Devontae Smith in year 2, and then Dallas Goedert had great prorated stats. So maybe that's a little tricky in the sense that, will they be able to control themselves and actually run the ball? But I liked what I saw to Sirianni in year 1 for sure. And then Staley as well. I mean, he's hyper aggressive and all that, but it seems like he connects with his players, and I like the aggressiveness.
To me, the middle of the pack is an appropriate spot for them because they showed enough in year 1 that they don't belong in the Robert Saleh category. And part of that, I mean, Nick Sirianni didn't. It depends on, I guess, who you ask, but I don't know that the Eagles last year had a tremendous roster. The Jets obviously had a worse roster, but still, with the talent they had, they both went 9-8. The Eagles made the playoffs, the Chargers didn't. But yeah, they are certainly candidates, I think, to move up. They feel to me like candidates to be in the Kevin Stefanski range of in those first couple of years establishing yourself as a playoff caliber head coach. And yeah, with Sirianni, I think just showing the humility to when you come in as an offensive guy, you take pride in being able to call plays, to run your offense, and to be able to halfway through your first year turn the keys over a little bit and say, actually, with Jalen Hurts, with this setup, we're not going to pass the ball a ton. Just to have the humility to do that, I think is important in a leader.
Yeah, I like where you got them at 15 and 16. I would have Kingsbury below those guys. I think I'd have Kingsbury at 17 and bump and that's actually, I would have Kingsbury at 19, I think.
I think last year he was in the 20s, I want to say. And my opinion hasn't wavered that, like changed that much on him. It's just so hard to, so like if you said Cliff Kingsbury is the coach of the Eagles or the Chargers, like,
or how about the Washington football team? Who wins more games, Kingsbury or Ron Rivera? I'll take Rivera.
yeah, I don't know. Like
Cowboys is an interesting one. Like Kingsbury could win some games with the Cowboys.
that's what I mean. It sounds kind of like intriguing, like Cliff
Oh
Kingsbury
my
in
God,
Dallas.
Kingsbury with Jerry Jones would be like just fanning himself constantly. Like, oh, Cliff, Cliff just mine. I mean, I'll tell you what, like Cliff's so handsome. Like he got a little dimple in his chin.
But yeah, I think that that kind of hits on something though, just like this, kind of like with Kyle Shanahan. But there's like this idea hanging around, like the idea of Cliff Kingsbury becoming this like hot, not like hot physically, but
we're not going off on the hot tangent like that.
No, I just mean a hot offensive coach. Yeah,
you get me started on who's the hottest coaches in football.
Honestly, I mean, people would read. I mean, I don't want to be doing that, but people would read that.
I launched like Costas and I guest hosted his shows, the You Better You Bet show, like at one point this summer, and I was like, I mean, like obviously the NFC West is the hottest coaching division in football. He's like, what did you just say? I was like, well, I mean, it's just a no-brainer. Everybody knows that. It's McVay, Shanahan, Kingsbury, and the Silver Fox Pete Carroll. And he's like, and I was like, now, if you really want to talk about like uniquely attractive, and then like all of a sudden there's like 40 minutes later, and we'd ranked like 1 through 32, like the hottest coaches, which again, we are not going to do.
Nope. We already spent enough time on other topics.
Yeah. But yeah, like I would move Cliff down. Like I just don't like, they came out hot and started with the last undefeated team. The second half swoons, and it dates back to Texas Tech. Just big time red flags for me. But look, I mean, they were a playoff team last year, and then they got their doors blown off by the Rams.
I don't think they're going to be, and they have a tough schedule this year too.
Yeah, if Trey Lance is legit, then the Cardinals are in a doggy for a playoff spot, probably. I would also I don't think that Zach Taylor is a great coach, but I'm not really sure.
He was also very extremely hard, because coming off, you lead this team to the Super Bowl. Everyone in Cincinnati happily will, keep buying him beers and all that. So it feels like you can't put him too far down, but yet, I mean, you just look at the record he had before Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and it's not his fault that he inherited them and then won with them. But I think the best thing Zach Taylor has going for him in these rankings and moving forward is just that, as long as Joe Burrow stays healthy, as long as Joe Burrow stays on schedule, he's going to rise up unless his play calling, like Mike McCarthy, or in-game decisions are so glaringly obvious that the talent around him doesn't mask his own.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine the Bengals offense not being great. And Zach Taylor's going to get credit for that as a result. I do like the fact that Stefanski and Frank Reich are ahead of those guys, though, because, people get miffed at Frank Reich for I guess the Carson Wentz. So he missed the playoffs. His job was definitely, if they kept Carson Wentz around and they missed the playoffs again, he's probably getting fired because Jim Irsay really doesn't like Carson Wentz. But I think Reich is just so solid as a coach. And actually, who was I talking to? Oh yeah, this is super, super random. I think this is after the Pauly Shore stand-up comedy show.
Your brain's shorting out or something.
It is shorting out. I'm trying to remember exactly. The person I was talking to was it was definitely, it was a girl at the bar after the Pauly Shore. There's a downstairs bar at the concert. She was with they were going to the show. We were
Urban Meyer. Okay.
No, hey. No. We came out of the show and went downstairs to get a post-show drink at the bar. And then the people who you could also have a drink at the bar and go up to the show because he was doing 2 shows. Anyway, I crossed paths with a girl who was sitting there, and somehow, I don't know how the hell this happened, but she basically knew, she's was good friends with Frank Reich's daughter or something like that. And was just, and just the way that she described him, I think he's the short version of this, Cody.
Are you trying to flaunt your popularity, just waltzing into bars and
no. They weren't oh, hey, Will Brinson. No. It's just
Can I get a picture with you?
Yeah, it does happen. The point being is that and I relayed the fact that immediately following the Eagles Super Bowl victory over the Patriots, I went down the locker room and everybody's talking to Foles and everybody's talking to Doug. And I was able to like sort of sidle up by Frank Reich and just listen to him talk. And I just remember being like I didn't, I mean, I watched this guy play a bunch, and I obviously, just been impressed with his play call, his work as a coach. But I know, like, when you listen to him talk, it's like he just really commands the room and has this like. And the point of the story about the bar is that I think he is like just a really genuine person.
Yeah.
And I think that comes across to his players, and like they buy into it because he is genuine. There's no there's no like false bravado about Frank Reich at all.
You mentioned Nick Foles, and I honestly feel like they are similar characters in terms of like they are just very even keeled, like smooth in the way that they connect with people. Like it's not forced, like you said, it's not. So he, in a sense, he's almost been the perfect coach for the Colts of the last few years, who have done this quarterback dance that few coaches would be able to manage so well.